Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Nick Nordner. What do we have for you today? Well, today is a VR to a brilliant video that was put up by Gordon Gibb84 Gaming, where he discussed his top 25 games of the past 25 years, so the last quarter of a century. He's kind of said he was sick of watching top X number of games and all the retro stuff coming up on top. So this is essentially it's going to be the top 25 games from the modern era. Now, there's stuff on here that some people might disagree with. At the end of the day, it's my list. I don't care. Some of these things would they be considered top? No, but there's a story behind them for me, so that's why I consider them. So, without further ado, let's start. And first game up. Now, for those of you who may or may not know me, I don't particularly like racing games. I don't mind the likes of Mario Kart. But if you were to put me on a proper racing sim game like Forza or Gran Turismo, it's not for me. But a game that does hit me well is Burnout. Burnout was such a cool concept. You take a car and you race it and you crash and you earn points. I loved it. Loved everything, every minute of it. Loved playing it. It was absolutely brilliant. On the original Xbox. It was also on the PlayStation 2 as well from memory. But obviously me being me, it's Xbox for me. So yeah, that's the first one. I've just realised I've no shelf space now because I've rearranged my shelves. Right, okay. I'll work that out in a minute. Next up, another surprise hit. I got this I played this on the Evercade. I'm not going to show the Evercade version of this. I'm going to show one that I got at the recent Blackpool Games Fair, where I actually spoke to the owner, well, the creator, Alistair Law, and that is Tapeworm, a disco puzzle. I enjoyed this that much. I even played through it and did a guide for each level. It was released in 2021. It followed up from Flea. Basically, you're a player as this worm who's inside a tape, and you've got so many moves to collect the elements and get to the musical notes and get out. So yeah, really good puzzle. Cracking game. This is the limited number. It's number 109 of 112. And as I say, Ali signed a few things as well. Really top bloke to talk to, and a good game developer as well. Okay, another probable surprise for a lot of people. I really liked it. I was torn between this and what was the other one I was torn between? Sorry, I'm looking at my shelves just to see if I can get an idea. I can't remember. Um, I was torn between another one and this, and I decided to pick this at number 23, and that is Azaric, Rise of Parathia. Night Caster was the other one I was torn between. This is just like an action RPG type game. You play as Azaric. Um, it it's probably not the greatest game in the world. But at the time when I got it, it came out in 2001. It was one of the original games that I got with my first original Xbox. And I enjoyed playing through it, and it harks back to when I was at uni, and that's when I got my first original Xbox. So yeah. Next on the list is a game that I don't actually have a physical copy of, and that's because a physical copy was never released of it, as far as I'm aware. If there was one, and I probably need to find it, but I don't recall it ever getting a physical. And that is Graveyard Keeper. That now I stumbled upon this when it was on Game Pass, I think originally. And effectively, you're a guy who dies. You end up going to this graveyard where you become the keeper of the graveyard, supported by a cast of different villagers. the main one that you're supported by is a talking skull, um, and he guides you through. And effectively, you've got to make the graveyard as good as possible. It's had loads of DLCs released. At one stage they had a zombie mod where you could not a mod a DLC where effectively you could get the zombies to be your automation. It's a pretty cool concept. A game I really enjoyed. It was good and fun, but also it was quite humorous as well. So yeah. Now, next game on the list is a sequel to the game that caused me to buy the original Xbox in the first place. And this sequel did everything that the first one didn't do correct. And that is WWE Raw. So in this, you get a full story mode. They brought in things like TLC and Hell in a Cell, and a load of new wrestlers as well. So we've got Goldberg, Big Papa Pump, and Triple H on the front here, but you've got Jericho on the back, Brock and Undertaker as well, I think, by the looks of things. Um, it was such a cool concept. Great game. Great wrestling game. And the first one, WWF Raw, was the reason that I bought the original Xbox in the first place, because that was the system seller for me. It's not only on, but it is only on Xbox, which is weird. The It doesn't have the only on badge, but the first one is available for only the Xbox, as far as I'm aware. Next game up, I just stumbled upon this when it came out. I think I stumbled upon it about a week after it came out. Um, I've been playing it on PC. It came out in 2023 on PC, and that game is Balatro. So this is the special edition with 10 Balatro cards. Yes, it's still sealed because it's on Game Pass, and I also have it on Steam as well. I've got it on mobile now as well. It's effectively a roguelite, but you play poker. It's just addictive. I sunk so much time into it. It's just addictive. You can be sat here playing, and hours can go by, and you completely, you forget all you forget that hours have gone by. Honestly, absolutely belting game. Really enjoyed playing through it. Still yet to. I think I've only ever won a hand once. It's such a hard game. It gets so much harder later in the as the game goes ahead as well. Next up, the one and only Switch game that's on my list, or that's Switch only, um, came out 2024. Yeah, 2024, last year. And that is Echoes of Wisdom, The Legend of Zelda. Why have I chosen this? I really love Link to the Past, but I liked what this did in terms of reimagining the Zelda games, but without breaking the Zelda elements of them, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which are absolutely shocking Zelda games. Yes, they might be open world and they might be brilliant, but they could have done things so much easier, like not having stupid breaking weapons. I, I just could not gel with them. I just wanted the Zelda game to be a Zelda game. And then Echoes came out. Well, A Link to the Past, the remaster, Link's Awakening remaster came out, and then this came out, and the concept here where you're playing a Zelda game and you're actually playing a Zelda. It's pretty cool. She has no weapons, but you've got a magic staff that you create these echoes with that become your weapons. Um, some really imaginative bosses as well. I absolutely loved it. It was a brilliant game. If only they'd have stuck this type of game in the open world for Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild might have been fantastic, but no, they broke Zelda. Although I'm led to believe the new Metroid Prime 4 has got a similar old school Zelda theme. So yeah, I'm probably going to pick that up. Uh, this is a massive series of games. There's hundreds, and well, not hundreds. There's there's loads in this series now, but this one I particularly enjoyed. Being a fan of the series, so that is Lego Marvel Avengers. I can't remember if I've got the 1000G on this or not, but Lego games, yes, they're a collectathon. Um, Not everybody's cup of tea, but I really enjoyed it. The settings for the film were fantastic. And that's not to do the others a disservice. The Lego Harry Potter games are good. All of them have got the kind of the nuances that make them good. But I particularly enjoyed the Lego Avengers. Another big, massive series of games now, and I'm going to confess that this is definitely not one of the best, but it's one of the better ones in the series, but it's not up there with the best. However, I will explain why I enjoyed this version of it in a moment. The game I'm talking about is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Um, I love the two characters. You play as a brother and a sister, Jacob and Evie Fry. I think it's Jacob. Yeah, Jacob and Evie Fry. It's set in the 1860, 1870s London. And it's just the fact that you can go there and you can scale buildings that I've been and stood outside of in the city. Um, and looking around London, you can scale Big Ben, or the clock tower, because obviously Big Ben's the bell, but never mind. Um, you know, it's just fun to run around London and know that that's places you've been. It would be awesome if they would do one that was set in like maybe Victorian Scotland or somewhere along those lines. But feudal Japan was pretty good. But Syndicate, I really enjoyed it. It was good fun to play. I've got it digitally. The DLC for it's phenomenal. The DLC is Jack Ripper DLC, where you solve the Jack Ripper of the crime. The transport mechanism is pretty good because you've got a train, so you don't have you can have horse and cart, but you've got a train that you use to get around that becomes your base. Really enjoyable game added to that lore. And next up, probably my favourite in this series. I thoroughly enjoyed these when I got into playing them properly. But I need to go back and do finish the latest one, which is weird because the latest one's set around something that I have a massive interest in true crime. It's set around H.H. Holmes. The game I'm talking about here is Dark Pictures, House of Ashes. So this one is set in, is it Syria, I think? Um, Sumerian temple. So I don't know where Samaria is. I think that's Syria, but effectively you go deep underground in this uh, temple, and you're fighting against. You're not actually fighting, but you're up against the ancients of things down there. Um, for anybody who's not played the Dark Pictures series, I would highly recommend it. It's a bit like turn based, but not turn based. It's a bit like um, choose your own uh, choose your own narrative type story driven game. Uh, I'm not doing it much justice here, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. Next up, and this is number 15, is it? Yeah, I think they were on to 15. A game again. I stumbled on this on Game Pass. I I I, I don't know why. I wasn't aware of it coming out or anything. Um, it's a game by Leonard Menchiari and Flying Wild Hog, and that game is Trek to Yomi. So this is essentially a sort of uh, a 2D or 2.5D at times. Ghost of Tsushima, I guess. You you play as a young swordsman, Hiroki, and you're protecting your town against the the people who are trying to invade. You're a lone samurai, it's such a cool concept. The you know the whole it's black and white. I know you can do that on Ghost of Tsushima and probably on Ghost of Yotai. I've not played it yet. But you know it it wasn't as taxing as that, but the storyline was fantastic, and I really enjoyed some of the fighting elements of it. Really, really good game. Really, really enjoyable in my opinion. Next up is a story-driven game. Had such a good control concept. Effectively, you use both sticks to control each character, and that is Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. So your dad is ill, and you're on a quest to get him to a doctor. Your mum had passed away, and they were trying to cure the dad, so they set out on a journey to bring back the water of life, effectively. And it's all about them. Each brother has a different set of skills, and you control each one with the thumbsticks. Um, Again, there's no real voice acting or anything in it, but it's just such a good story. A really, really nicely set game. It's won according to this, it's a BAFTA winner. So yeah. Now, I originally thought I was going to put this further up my list. This next game, I talk about this quite a lot and say how I'm surprised it's never had a remaster. Um, it's based on a book, I believe, called Heart of Darkness, which is in turn what uh, not Full Metal Jacket. Oh, it escapes me. Uh, a very big film that is not at the top of my mind at the minute. Vietnam film, and that is Spec Ops: The Line. Now, the whole story and the whole premise of Spec Ops: The Line is phenomenal. I don't want to ruin the story for people who've not played it, but essentially you are a US special ops person, and you dropped in to try and I think is it Dubai? Yeah, Dubai was wiped off the map by a big sandstorm, and you dropped in, and you've got to try and look for survivors and evacuate the city. Um, it, but there's um, a lot of psychological elements to it. You know, things may or may not be there. It's such a good game and such a good storyline. I highly recommend you play it if you've not played it. Next up, I think this was on Gordon's list as well. I absolutely loved this game. Thought it was absolutely belting. Phenomenal story, the characters, the voice acting, everything was really good. I love the films, but this game was brilliant. That is Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, Effectively like an RPG style. But you know, you get to play as Star Lord, you can play as Drax, you know, and it's great storyline behind it, and such good action in it as well. Phenomenal. I loved it. I wouldn't have. I would. It, there's games on here that rate higher than it, unfortunately, but it could have been in my top 10. Honestly, it really could have. It's such a good game. Next up, and I think this is the only PS3 one I've got on here. We have Infamous. This is one of the best superhero games ever made, even though it's technically not a superhero game. Made by Sucker Punch, um, who do, I think, didn't they do The Last of Us? I might have that wrong. They've definitely done a game. They've definitely done a game that's been up, I've shown, I think. Um, but yeah, Sucker Punch made it. You're in a city and there's an explosion, and you develop superpowers. But not only can you be a hero, you can also be a villain. And as that progresses, it determines how you look. So as you become a villain, your eyes start going red, and you great game. Great action in it as well. Phenomenal game. Uh, I didn't really play it when it first came out because I've always been 360. Uh, then when I got PS3, you know, let's have a go. I think I only paid £1 for it. It's only about £4 now in CEX. Infamous 1 and 2 were good. The sequels, the rest of the sequels weren't so great, but I'm surprised it's not been brought back, if I'm honest. And yeah, phenomenal game. Okay, we're into the top 10. Um, so big series. This, I think, it's probably the biggest selling series of games. I might be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure it might not be. GTA might be, but we have got Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Why Black Ops 2? Because it was the one that I was the best at. Played a lot of free for all. It was the one, I think, just before they split the players. So I used to play with a lot of guys in the US. Made some good friends with them via Reddit, and then they they split all the servers, and it meant we hardly ever got any games together as well, unless we partied up. So it was just, yeah, that ruined it for me. But Black Ops 2 was phenomenal. Map choices in it were amazing. Campaign was really good. I don't do zombies, but even the zombies was quite good. So yeah, Black Ops 2. Talking of zombies, next on my list, and a lot of people will put this higher, I would assume. Um, Originally released in 2013, then remastered in 2014, and then remastered when the PlayStation 5 came out. It's The Last of Us. Yes, it's still sealed because it was on PS Plus. I bought it just in case it came off of there. Um, I could have picked the second one, but I much prefer the first one. The first one, uh, it really hits you in the heart at the end of the first one, and you kind of realise that the zombies again are secondary. It's the human element of this that makes it phenomenal. Um, I'm surprised that they haven't carried on and they've just remastered this and remastered it. I thought after the second one they might have found another way of creating a new game. But yeah, there's not much more I can say about it. It's an absolute masterpiece of a game, but for me, doesn't rate as high as the rest of them that I've got here. Um, Another belting game. Took me 3 attempts to actually play this. Started it 3 times, and then it just I couldn't gel with it, and then picked it up back up one day and just loved it. We've got Red Dead Redemption. So this is the Game of the Year edition that includes is it the Undead Nightmare? It also includes the multiplayer. Um, I've never played the multiplayer, but yeah, the Undead Nightmare is pretty cool. Um, you know what's not to love? You become an outlaw. Um, you go around. You can rob banks. You know it's a typical Rockstar game. It's just GTA for cowboys, really. But absolutely brilliant game. Loved it. Next up, we have the Plague Tale games. So this is the collection. This is actually the German. It's a German collection. I don't know why I got it in German, but I have. I think because I wanted the collection and it came up on Amazon, and I think I bought it off the Rock, brought it the Rock Amazon. But I'm talking about the first game here, Plague Tale Innocence. So you play Alessia de Run, and you're trying to help your brother get through. I can't remember her brother's name. He becomes a real whiny bitch in the second one, though. But the first one's phenomenal. He's got this miasma in him, and he starts becoming the kind of the antithesis to Alessia, and she's just trying to protect him. And yeah, great game, great storyline, great action. Um, highly recommend that. And before we get to the top five, I have now what I would consider a very underrated game. I was surprised when I played it how underrated it is, but it's just mental. And that is Mad Max. So effectively, you start off as Max, and your car gets stolen from you, and you then build a new car. That's what the whole aim is with trying to get to what's called Gas Town, and defeat the bosses in there. Excellent driving in it. It's got excellent controls, excellent action. Um, Lots to do in it. It's a massive map, and driving across the map, you sometimes encounter sandstorms. The sandstorms are phenomenal. The whole all the weather elements that surround you are brilliant. I really loved this game. And if you've not played it, you definitely should. Okay, another huge series of games. I was torn between number three and this one, but I elected for this one, and that is Far Cry 5. Vass in Far Cry 3 is just a brilliant antagonist, but the father is great, and the kids that control the areas, each one of them has their own quirks. Um, Such a it's great concept as well. This one you get allies who can help you, and they have different controls. I know you've previously been able to have animals and stuff, but Far Cry 5 is just brilliant. That from start to finish, the concept of um, mental religious people in country, hill country in America. Um, just it was great game. The father is just brilliant bad guy. Um, and New Dawn, I think, was sort of a sequel to this. It carries on from the end of Far Cry 5. I'm sure the father, I'm 99% sure the father appears in that. He's not the bad guy, but he does appear. Uh, you know, a belting series of games as well. Wasn't too hot on 6, but 3 to 5, fantastic. Modern day take, sort of, on Zelda, I guess. And, you know, brilliant set of 1 and 2, top tier. 3, getting mid. 4, uh, not great, but yeah, I'm hoping the new one, which features them all, will be good. And that's Darksiders 2 is the one I've chosen. You play as Death in Darksiders 2. You've got your sides and your horse. I can't remember what your horse is called in this. It's not the same as War's horse. I can't remember the name of it. But you're one of the four horsemen. They use, I think in this series they use War, Death, Wraith, it's called, and the other one I can't remember. But it's very Zelda-like. It's a case you go somewhere, you get the new thing that lets you open up the next area, and so on and so forth, solving puzzles. Great fighting in it as well. And such a good character. If I had enough space, I would want sort of War and Death tattooed, but I don't have a big enough area for the detail that I want. So, uh, honestly, great. They've been remastered. They're available on all the modern systems. I think it's the Definitive Edition and the War Mastered Edition. I've got them on the more modern consoles, the newer consoles as well. But yeah, Darksiders 2, a great game. And another big series, and this is probably the best game in this entire series of games, in my opinion. This is the perfect one, and that is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I get it, I've chosen two Assassin's Creed games, but Syndicate has its reasons. Black Flag is just phenomenal. Every element of it's great. The combat is great. The shipbuilding is great. The fighting at sea is brilliant. The setting, I think it's in Tortuga. It's set in the Caribbean. Again, fantastic. And you're playing as a pirate. You know, it was, you get sea shanties in it as well. Right, excellent. can't say more good things about Black Flag. It will, I think, forever be my favorite Assassin's Creed. Um, it and I love, you know, one, two, one, not so much, but two, Brotherhood, um, Revelations. You know, all the Ezio ones were really good, but Black Flag is just Black Flag's great, and Edward Kenway is such a good character to play as well. So yeah, second to last now. Um, Now people will probably prefer the first one. I think Retro Red Steve did, but I've chosen the second one, and that is Arkham City. Um, I chose Arkham City because Joker goes a bit more crazy in this. Um, you get a whole city opened up to you rather than just the Arkham Asylum as well. Um, yeah, it's good. The supporting characters are good. Riddler, they're finding all Riddler's riddles. You know, Catwoman is in it. It's pretty good. Can't remember who the other big, but I think you fight Killer Croc again, and honestly, it's a great game. And one that again has been remastered, is available on Return to Arkham series, I think, on the modern consoles. So if you've not played it, I would suggest getting Return to Arkham and playing through it. And my number one game, it's there's been a clue in the whole video going through. But yeah, my number one game is Stardew Valley. Um, what can you say about Stardew? Created by a single character, concerned ape, single character, single person, um, concerned ape. Eric Baron, he's called. Um, he created everything apart from the music, I believe. He has released DLC after DLC after DLC for it all for free. There's a board game which I own, and yeah, and that board game can be played on your own as well, if you've got no friend like me. But it's a farming game at the end of the day. It's a farming game, but boy is it amazing. I've got it here on the Xbox One, but I own it for Wii U. I own it for Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PS4. Uh, not PS5, I don't think. But I've got it digitally at Xbox One. I play it mainly on PC now because the 1.6 update is out for that, and there's some that it's just honestly adds loads and loads of stuff to it. Um, for anybody who's not played it, I can't sing its praises enough. You know, you're sick of life, drudgingly working in an office, so you choose to. Your grandfather leaves you a farm in his will, and you pop to Stardew Valley to create your farm. You know, I've played through it time and time again. Have I ever beaten it? I don't think. I've never made full perfection or anything. I'm not an expert at it. I'm not like some of the people who I've watched playing it. You know, some of these guys are great. They go from nothing to millions in a couple of seasons. You know, I'm probably a mid-level player to it. I'm not a beginner, but I've not only played Stardew, so I play other things. But I do like to go back to it from time to time. Well, quite a lot, really. Um, but yeah, there is that. I am going to look around to see who else has done a VR to this, and I'll link all the videos in the description. I will link Gordon's main video. If you've not watched it, go over and check it out. Gordon's a great guy, and the video is pretty cool. So that's 35 minutes of me waffling on. All that's left for me to do is thank you for watching. I have been the Ignoring the. I'll catch you on the next one.